Hi, I'm TT James, holistic menstrual mentor and creator of My Sacred Blood and the My Sacred Blood strategy for cyclical living. If you are new to the channel, welcome, and if not, welcome back. This video is probably going to be the most important video that I've posted on the YouTube channel, and it's probably going to be the last for a little while, but you can still find me at mysacredblood.com. I will be posting videos there and offering videos to anyone on the mailing list. I feel like the information that I'm going to be giving from this point on has to be a little bit more guarded than usual, but I will be on YouTube here and there. Normally I would say that you can find me here every Monday at noon, but I feel like it's time to take a break and to do some reflection and just to focus on those people who are really seeking the information that I am providing. So it will be there. I will be available to anyone who does seek to find me, and so you can find me on the website. The link is going to be in the description below. If you don't know what a holistic menstrual mentor is, I have posted a video detailing all of that here. You can find that on YouTube, and if you want more information about holistic menstrual care, I also posted a video about that, and you can also find that on the YouTube channel here. Look for that one. And then if you want more detail about that, of course, visit the website, and when you join the mailing list, you will receive a link to download the first digital coaching session for free, and I go into detail, a lot more detail in that one. This video is about cyclical living and why it's more important than ever to have a cyclical living strategy. And the reason why that is because there's a lot happening in the world that seems or appears to be chaotic and confusing. And if you're not careful and you don't have sort of a balance point or a anchor, then you might get lost in all of that chaos, and you might doubt yourself or lose yourself, and you don't know which way to go. You might hesitate and make choices that you may later on regret. And so it is important to have a routine. You're probably hearing a lot of the influencers talking about getting out of your comfort zone and not sticking to a routine. And there is a place and a phase for that in a menstrual care routine, in a strategy for cyclical living. There is a time, usually during the follicular phase, where you do want to jump out of your comfort zone and to do something new and different, and to take risks and to dare to be a little bit more exciting or less normal than usual, to get out of your comfort zone. But the reason why you want to have a routine is, as I've said, is to keep you anchored in times where things can get chaotic. I feel as if that whole narrative about jumping out of your comfort zone is almost to prepare you for this sweeping change that's about to come. We are clearly living in historical times. There is no doubt about that. And so what you do now is going to set the tone, not just for how you are going to live in the future, but how your descendants are going to remember you and how you lived now in the present. And so I feel like it's extremely important, once again, now more than ever, to create a routine that you can depend on no matter what. So let me give you a quick example of that. Usually during the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle, this is the phase just before you menstruate, and it's the longest phase of the cycle that lasts about 2 weeks. And this is the phase where the unfertilized egg disintegrates. Now, usually the luteal phase is meant to create a luteinizing hormone or release a luteinizing hormone that is going to set off a chain reaction that's going to get other hormones going in order to prepare your body for a fertilized egg, for a baby. But when that doesn't happen, things can go out of whack or out of balance. And so you're going to have hormones that plummet, hormones that were supposed to increase are not going to be there at all. And so things can seem a little chaotic inside. Now, that chaos is normal considering the circumstances. And so the body has to find a way to get back into balance and to reset. But what modern medicine has done as far as menstruation is concerned, it has told women that this is a disease, this is an issue, it's a problem in the body, and it needs to be medicated. And they've also decided that all of the moods that you go through, the ups and downs that happen as a result of your natural steroids plummeting, because your testosterone and your progesterones do plummet at this time, and your steroid hormones, these steroid hormones are meant to keep you balanced, to balance your metabolism, to balance your mood. And when this happens, we are told that it's a mental health issue and that you're going crazy. And this is a narrative that has been going on for centuries, since the advent of modern medicine, and even before that. We've been taught to believe, or programmed to believe, that this is a mental health problem. It started with or even beyond hysteria, but as far as the historical records tell, it started with this thing called hysteria, and we're supposed to believe that women are hysterical, that our wombs are wandering, that our wombs have a mind of their own, and that we're just crazy during this time of the cycle. They later decided that, okay, we'll just call it late luteal phase disorder. Women go crazy during the late luteal phase, and we're not going to call it hysteria anymore. They're not hysterical, but they still have a mental problem. And then after that, and now they want to change that a little bit, because of course men do go through a luteal phase daily, so they had to change the wording on that, and now we're calling it premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And more than likely it is going to change. They're going to create something else to make women believe that we're going crazy during our luteal phase, when all that's happening simply is that your hormones have to just find a way to get back into balance, and you can help that along. Unfortunately, now we're also living in a time where natural body healing and trusting in the natural process, or the natural majesty, the greatness, the ability of the human body to heal itself, that is now taboo. And unfortunately, we're not even allowed to talk about things like natural immunity and natural healing and natural health anymore. We have to be dependent on modern medicine, and that is scary. And I don't scare easily, but the fact that all of my life where I did depend on modern medicine, and I mean, I got dependent on it to the point where it damn near destroyed me. And the only thing that saved my life was looking at the bigger picture, stepping back and looking at my health holistically, at all the things that were affecting my health, my mental and physical health. And it wasn't until I decided to look at my life holistically and to trust in the divine Mother Nature and what the body was built to do. When I trusted in that, it changed my life. And I mean, it saved my life. I was in a life and death situation where modern medicine and pharmacology was actually killing me and destroying me. And Mother Nature did not let me down. And so I am not going to be turning my back on her. I'm going to follow natural processes. And that brings me back to cyclical living. I cut myself off there, but cyclical living is trusting that process and living your life in a way that is as closely aligned to your reproductive cycle as possible. And so whatever's happening on the inside, I'm going to do that on the outside. So if I'm generating a new egg, it's a time for generating new things, new ideas, and taking risks, as I've mentioned before. During the ovulation phase is the time when the egg is liberated from the ovaries, and now is a time for me to feel liberated, to feel free to express myself and to be more sociable, etc. During the luteal phase, it gets a little tricky because a lot happens during this phase. The egg disintegrates, and then also the hormones plummet. So rather than trying to fall apart or break apart as the lining of the uterus is doing at this time, or as the egg is doing at this time, rather than falling apart, I have to try to find ways to create something new, to create that life, or that life spark that was never created during the luteal phase. So the luteal phase does get a little bit tricky, and you do have to make a conscious effort to be confident and to be creative and to generate some feel-good hormones to replace the hormones that have plummeted, and to find control and balance. And then of course during the menstrual phase is a time to relax and to release and to reset and prepare for another phase. So that's just the basics of cyclical living. And when you live your life according to the reproductive cycle, because once again, nature is perfect. It was created in divine, perfect wisdom. And to go against that seems so counterproductive, and I can't see how that can end in any other way but disaster. And so I'm offering this video because there's a lot going on, like I said, in the world, and a lot of it seems unpredictable, and I'm trying to wade through it all myself, and I'm not quite sure exactly what to make of it. And so during a time like this, I need a little bit of time to focus. And so I need to focus on my sacred blood. And usually I would do fun videos and product reviews and things like that, but I just don't have the time and energy for that. I'd like to focus more on the reproductive cycle itself, on cyclical living, and on natural health. And so I'm going to be doing that once again over on the website. In the meantime, I do want you to take the time to listen to some of the videos that I've already posted here on YouTube, give them some love, and really take in what I've been saying. A lot of what I have been saying, I've had to say it without really saying it, unfortunately. But if you listen closely and carefully, then you'll understand what it is that I was saying in those videos. And mostly what I was saying was to just trust your body, trust your cycle. Our bodies, the human body, is a divine form. It's magnificent. It's like nothing I've ever known. And man, as I've mentioned in the last video about technology, they're looking for ways to better understand or better build technology based on the reproductive system. All of technology right now is so focused on the reproductive system, how to create humans that recreate the human body. So that alone should tell you how great it is if man is so obsessed with recreating it. But I don't think we have to recreate it. I just think we have to take the time to perfect it as much as possible. And so this is where me and modern medicine go extremely separate ways, is that I believe that the human body can be perfected naturally, and man believes that he should employ technology in order to kind of experiment with human body to try to make it better. But man forgets sometimes that man is nature, and what he's doing essentially is just manipulating a part of who he is to try to make himself better. So we kind of have the same idea, but our methods are or seem to be diametrically opposed. Anyway, I am rambling, but once again, sign up for the mailing list and get that first free digital coaching session, and you'll see where I'm going with this thing. For now, I'm going to leave you with a quick clip from the most recent session number 9 on cyclical living. How exactly does cyclical living work? Cyclical living follows the same principles as permaculture gardening, for example, which is based on the concept of planting according to climate or to environment. So for example, drought-tolerant plants would thrive better in dry climates, while heat-tolerant plants would fare better in humid climates. When it comes to menstruation, cyclical living means to align your schedule and your lifestyle and life events with the phases of your cycle. For the follicular phase, the theme I chose for this phase is bold new beginnings, because if the follicular phase was a season, it would be spring. Next, for the ovulation phase, the theme I chose for this one is express yourself. Be free to express yourself or to explore your interests. If the ovulation phase was a season, it would be summer. All right, next is the luteal phase, which is often the most tricky and hard to balance because there's so much happening in this phase. And the theme I chose for this phase is to prepare or to be ready for anything can happen. If this phase were a season, it would be fall. And then finally we have the menstrual phase. And for this phase, the theme I chose was relax, release, reset. If the menstrual phase were a season, it would be the winter. That is it for this one. Until the next one, do take care of yourself.